Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature, the show where we talk about movies past, present, and future. Today we do one of our favorite things. We're doing a 30-year anniversary review of The Princess Bride.
Not just your basic, average, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ho-hum fairy tale.
The Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies of all time. It was a movie that I would watch all the time growing up, to the point where I would literally be reciting the movie with it as it was playing. So when I saw this one was coming up, I was extremely excited to get to review this one. John?
I did not grow up with The Princess Bride. Surprisingly, this is a film that I watched in my adult life for the first time. I watched it only for my second time for this review. So, yeah, I'm in complete polar opposites for that.
Probably like 200. Well, I think that's a good thing, a little perspective on it. So, the Princess Bride is an adaptation of the book, The Princess Bride, and the script is actually written by William Goldsman, the author himself. And it definitely is filled with a lot of dialogue. You can tell that this is a writer's movie. I think this movie has tons of just iconic scenes, lines, and characters, and just has such a fun wit and plays around with the fantasy genre and satirizes it in some really good ways.
As you wish.
Farm boy, polish my horse's saddle. I want to see my face shining in it by morning.
As you wish.
Carrie Elways and Robin Wright. I love the chemistry in this movie between the two of them. And it's actually kind of funny because behind the scenes, they were actually really getting it off. The two of them, they didn't want this filming to be done. And I think I read that the last scene where they kiss on the horse, they actually kept doing that scene over and over again. even though like they had it in the bag, but they didn't want the filming to be done. They just kept wanting to kiss each other. And you could see it on screen too. The chemistry between these two is a lot of fun. And you just believe the two of them. It's so much fun to watch.
Well, they even say in the film that, the five, all the top kisses that were ranked, that one, blew them all away. So they definitely had chemistry. And this is actually an early role for both of them. This is Robin Wright's first. This is the introduction to her. I'm sure everybody remembers her now from Wonder Woman and House of Cards. We're a lot more familiar with
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. I just started talking more recently for audiences, or the more recent stuff that she's been doing. But yeah, this was the beginning of her career, and she's been a great actress for so long. I'm so excited to see her in Blade Runner 2049. Yeah. I'm just excited to see that movie. And then a really young Carrie Elways. And really, this is it's funny because it's kind of a singular cast. I don't think that I think I've ever seen any of these people kind of all together. As Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya, was an absolute iconic character. Plays a Spaniard fencing master.
I hate to kill you. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die. Begin.
Out to get revenge on a six-fingered man who killed his father. And see, those are the things about this movie that just make it so fun, is that it has this kind of like whimsy to it.
Yeah, it's whimsy, and there's those details like that that just stick with you. It's just like there's something a little odd and a little off about every little teeny thing.
It's kind of Mel Brooks-ish.
Yeah,
like
Rob Reiner has that with him too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of that style of comedy.
Yep.
But just done really well. It's just really witty. There's just so many little lines. There's so many that I still use today, like with Vicini always saying, "Inconceivable!" I love Inigo's callback later when he's like, "You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means." I use that a lot. There's a lot of things like that. Wesley's "Life is pain. Anyone who's telling you differently is selling you something." I love that. And there's so many just absolutely great lines and funny moments throughout this movie. So, John, what are your biggest things or your favorite things from The Princess Bride?
Well, I think it really just adds up to everything. It's a collective whole. It's so much fun to watch. I love the art direction and the art style of the film. And I can't remember his name, but the supervisor in charge of it, he's actually had a pretty well-off career doing films like Full Metal Jacket, Black Hawk Down, and actually Justice League coming up this year.
Oh, wow.
So, but I just love, and I know some people, I've heard over the years, some people who don't like the movie, they don't like that art direction or that art style where everything kind of looks fake a little bit. But it's totally on purpose, it's intentional, and it kind of gives that whimsical feel, especially because it's a story that the grandfather is reading to the grandson. So I just kind of love how it how it puts you into that in that way, because it's just different.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things that makes a movie endearing. You mentioning the grandfather and the grandson, and it's funny because it's like the movie is about a grandfather reading the story while the grandson is sick, and for me it was a go-to movie when I was sick. When I was sick, I would put this movie in. I'm just sitting at home and I'm sick, don't feel well. Princess Bride was always a pick-me-up.
I will say, too, my son, he's 6. I watched it with him, so he's not going to be 27 saying he never saw The Princess Bride. We watched it together, so... And it was fun just kind of like turning, like, seeing what his reactions were to a film that's 30 years old, too. So, and he seemed to enjoy it.
So, John, were there any things for you that were negatives?
It's really hard to say negatives because I feel like there is a ceiling on this type of film. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, but I mean that's really subjective. I feel in this case specifically because of the style that the film goes with. Really, I don't like just like out of the gate. I don't really have anything that really sticks out as negative. Maybe some of the acting. I mean, there's definitely some cheese, and there's some of that intentional kind of camp to it. The principal cast is really good, but I think some of the supporting stuff, it's not the greatest. But that's just me really I'm pulling that stuff right now for critiques.
I think that what you said is very accurate, is that a lot of the things that you would go to criticize, they're intentional. Like some of the matte paintings in the background and stuff of certain scenes. It's like they're meant to be that way, and they're meant to look that way. I mean, you could definitely say that some of it has kind of dated the ROUSs. Which is honestly one of my favorite scenes. Like, I don't think they exist, and then you're like, the giant rat comes in. So there's some things that definitely get dated with it, but like as you said, it's kind of all part of the experience. It is kind of also be poking fun at those kinds of things at the same time, or just really lightly poking fun at them. But yeah, I really don't have lots of negatives with this movie.
I think it's like perfectly timeless. I think it's interesting too because it's really kind of playing with the fairy tale already back in 1987, but like just now 30 years later, I just feel like the movie just aged it's never going to get old. It's always going to kind of be and feel the exact same way that it did when it came out in 1987. So, I mean, it is really hard to kind of poke critiques at something of this nature. So I don't really know. I don't really have many complaints.
All right, then. So, John, what is your favorite scene and your favorite character in The Princess Bride?
Oh, gosh. Favorite character, I'd say Inigo. It's hard because I do love Cary Elwes in this film. He's got there's so much great comedy and just like his drive to find the Princess Buttercup. Like, just how... Everything that he does and how good he is at everything, it's so fun to watch.
I love,
but the fight scene, oh come on, the fencing scene between Inigo and that scene is awesome.
Really, for me, like the whole scene, it's the build up. It's like him climbing up. Like I could throw a rope down to you, but I don't think you could trust me.
Yeah,
and I'm just waiting around to kill you. It's like, well, that definitely puts a damper on our relationship. It's everything building up to it, everything during it, when they both reveal that they're both not left-handed.
Yes.
And then there's so many great like character moments in there. Inigo revealing like what his whole drive is, his whole revenge story. He tells to the man in black at that time. We know it's Wesley, but they're not supposed to know it's Wesley. It's such a fun scene from beginning to end, and I really love that sequence of the movie. These 3 trials that they kind of have. Like skill, strength, and brains against these 3 criminals as he's trying to get Buttercup back. It's such a fun section of the movie. But yeah, the fight scene for me as a kid that stuck out so much. I spent so much time imitating that scene growing up.
They did all their own stunts too for the most part. I think there was one of the flips.
Yeah.
That was a stunt double, but I think the other one that Cary always did was actually him. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you could fact check that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the stunts were actually the 2 of them, and they were fighting. And it was choreographed by, man, I'm having a hard time with names today, but it's the same guy that choreographed Star Wars.
Yep.
So I fact check that one too.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite fencing fights, in especially like more modern cinema, but in just movies in general. For me, I mean that's a great choice. That scene it really does stick out. But honestly, if I'm going to pick something else, I'll definitely pick Miracle Maxes. Billy Crystal and his wife is so great. Liar! Liar! It's such a funny scene, just injecting Billy Crystal's humor in there, because he really does fit so well with the humor of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of like an avatar of the movie itself. Just his his barbs and his wit, and of course gives us the iconic line, "Have fun storming the castle." You think it'll work? It'll take a miracle.
Yeah, it actually, just going back behind the scenes of that, with Billy Crystal and Matt and his character, Rob Reiner actually had to keep pausing the filming because he was nauseous from laughing so hard. So it's great. It is really, it's a lot of fun.
And if I were to pick a favorite character, I think I need to give the nod to Andre the Giant as Fezzik in this movie. He's so delightful and fun.
There's a lot of heart there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of heart, and there's so much fun between him and Inigo. He actually handles the wit really well. I love his confrontation with Wesley with which way's my way? You grab the rock, go hide behind the boulder. When his head is in view, hit it with the rock. It's just, my way doesn't sound very sportsmanlike. Him and his rhyme thing with Inigo. There's just so many fun things, and he is kind of, like you said, he's like the heart, or kind of like the Groot of this group in a way. What I mean?
It's just like, if you read up on some of the behind the scenes stuff with him too, there's just a lot of stuff going on with him on the set, and he loved his experience in The Princess Bride, and I think everyone just loved him being there. It's a very unique thing. If you've never read up on some of the behind the scenes stuff, definitely read up on it. There was a lot of interesting stuff revolving around Andre the Giant.
All right, so we've gone through our positives, mainly positives. John, what is your final summary and grade for The Princess Bride?
Princess Bride is just a timeless fairy tale. It's a great watch. You sit down. It's just 1987, 2017. The film hasn't changed. It's just a lot of great, memorable characters, memorable lines. It's just so much fun. And honestly, sitting here, I thought I'd be able to pull out more critiques on the film and more negatives, but I can't. I really can't. I think just the art direction and the way the movie's filmed, it's just so much fun, and this, I think, will look and feel the same way 30 years from now, even further. So I give The Princess Bride an A.
As I said before, this movie is completely coated in nostalgia for me, and it has a absolutely perfect director. It's great having the writer of the book, and I think it shines through. And then it has this stacked cast, and we've mentioned Carrie Elwes, Robin Wright, Mandy Patinkin, Andre the Giant, but also Chris Sarandon and Christopher Guest as the villains in this movie are fantastic. There's just so many good characters, and it's just such a fun watch. And as I said before, it is a perfect watch for when you're homesick and just need something to pick you up. This movie is a movie that I've just kind of loved and cherished for pretty much my whole life, it feels like. So I'm actually going to give Princess Bride an A+. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed our 30-year anniversary review of The Princess Bride. I was really excited to do this one. So, guys, tell me if you've seen the movie and what you think of The Princess Bride and your favorite line. Tell me your favorite line from the movie in the comments, guys. You can find us on Twitter at BacktoFeature, and you can find us on our Facebook at /BacktoFeature. I'm Giovanni Carlo.
And I'm John Vandeloo.
And we'll see you guys next time.
How old were you?
I was 11 years old. When I was strong enough, I dedicated my life to the study of fencing. So the next time we meet, I will not fail. I will go up to the six-fingered man and say, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."